Yeah, Molly, I'm at the Canada Pavillion, and I'm at the stand of Run With It Synthetics. Next to me is the CEO and co-founder, Myrna Bittner. Now, RWI, what they do is they create these dynamic digital twins that are of cities or regions, or full with people, infrastructure, environments, and this really allows leaders to sort of test strategies for emergencies, climate, health, urban planning. It's fascinating to me. It's a domain I'm kind of discovering. Myrna is here to tell us more about it. The 6D synthetic Earth platform, can you explain to us how it works and what makes it different from these traditional digital technologies?
Sure, hi, thank you. Happy to be here. So when we say 6D, we focus on 6 dimensions, and we started in a different sector than most digital twins are focused on an object or asset-oriented world and the physical world, whereas we started in the modeling living systems world. And the reason why we did this and built this out of generative and agentic AI was because people need to experience things that haven't happened yet. And we needed to find a way to generate that data from scenarios, events, build-outs, development, that hasn't happened yet. So 6 dimensions focuses on 3D GIS, so natural and built environment, but then we're able to add living systems where we can manipulate time, context, and the 6th dimension is people.
Yeah, and this is fascinating. I was wondering if you could give us some examples of real-world challenges that RWI has used to help a government or organization solve.
Sure. So one of them is that, like many cities, they're growing. And there's a rapid need to develop. There's a incredible burden for affordable housing. There's a need for infrastructure and an understanding of transportation, and all of these things are connected. And so we worked with one group of cities who are planning on doubling. They're actually ahead of their growth plan, and they needed to do so in a very coordinated way. So there was 14 cities. They got together. We synthesized their environment for them, and they began to run scenarios, everything from land use and soil planning to consumption and energy consumption, how new populations might live differently with different densities, how they might access transportation differently, even all the way down to what does that mean for workforce and its relationship to industry, post-secondary institutes, programming and growth. And it really enabled that region to coordinate versus compete, because they had been kind of competing with each other across their boundaries.
Yeah, and I'm guessing technology like this can and should be used all over the world. As these cities face growing pressure, climate risk, overpopulation, like you mentioned, how are your simulation technologies sort of driving faster and better decisions?
So I think we always forget, that we live in this world where we have our own silos and sectors and departments. And one of the ways that we can accelerate that change is to bring those all together in an interconnected world. So we can begin to see and understand the interchange or interplay in those investment scenarios and what changing something in my sector means to your sector or your department. So that's one of the ways, is that collaboration and consensus building that's done. Another way that we accelerate change is to allow people to virtually deploy. So they can virtually deploy and they can look at things under any conditions that they want to see them in, including climate, but also economic or population or policy conditions. And they can decide whether or not what they're investing in is robust. And so that's a big part of how we accelerate that change, is the decision makers feel much more confident when they have gone through all of the scenarios, experienced the imaginable and unimaginable, and they can settle on something that has a return on investment and a return on impact.
In a world increasingly polarized, I think this idea of interconnectedness is all the more valuable. Run With It, very interesting company. It's woman-led, it's Aboriginal-owned. How has that shaped the company and its vision moving forward?
I think we're extraordinarily focused on impact. So right from the very beginning, even when we've been dealing in digital systems or when we expanded to deal with critical infrastructure systems, because we can see populations and we can see the planet, it's impossible not to report on that. And so we can understand how the most vulnerable are left behind or not, and the context that brings. We have a real commitment to 7 generations. So we need to be able to see forward, which is what our company is all about, is manipulating time and actually understanding the generational impact of the decisions that we're making today and their relationship to true sustainability, which is not only for people but for planet.
Very inspiring. Myrna, thank you very much. Myrna Bittner from Run With It Synthetics. Back to you, Molly.